What's going on, guys? Brendan from Boiler Room Trading. Please excuse me for the non-video from yesterday. I was super sick, dying with a nice stomach bug. So we're going to catch you guys up in this video from yesterday and today. So the $300 start that we had put in TOS, the other account, we're going to go over some of the trades that we did. Some of the small accounts were green all through yesterday and today. Looks like we're going to slide this one over here. Might be hard to see, but this is a Roku trade today. We took a one up a single put, 129 put, filled at 308, and out at 395. So with commissions and whatnot, we did make just about 87 bucks there on this scalp. As far as this small account goes on TOS. Now, let's go to why we took the Roku scalp here. So the whole trade was posted pretty much in our notes, so we'll go over those later as well. But my notes said for Roku 134.60 over under, still not in great trade range, more of a gamble than a trade. These levels looks weak to 130 today. So we were looking for weakness to 130, and if we look at the 4-hour chart here, this golden line was pretty much the end all be all. This golden line is rated at 134.60, just about from the mentioned level mentioned. And in the intraday, you can see where the gold line comes through, and that was a pretty good break level there. Pretty good bounce rejection level last few days. So as long as we opened up under this gold level, we're going to look at Roku short this morning. And you can see in pre-market here, kind of pop back up, hit that 134.60 level, just about 70, 68, 69. Rejected, cracked this other daily level. We had a 134.11, came down. So we looked really nice for the weakness of Roku. So I didn't get in right away, unfortunately. TOS screwed me up on a little bit of a fill there on the inside. I looked for an instant in right at the 1 minute, right at the open. Since we opened up so high, we're under the 100 EMA. We were just about to break pre-market lows. I figured it's very limited risk. Even if it popped up to the 100 or 200, we could get a pop to short rollover on that play. So we did get in on the second pop, so we waited for the confirmation. So it ended up dropping, and we don't chase the weakness, right? So we waited for the retrace. So I said, well, if it bounces off yesterday's lows, coded here 131.25, and pops back up to our resistance level of 132.25, we'll take it short. So it had that pop, of course. So I just marketed in and grabbed a chunk of it, and I got that fill, like I said before, at 308. Then happened to dump higher, and it dumped under yesterday's lows, and it was nearing 130. So I closed out onto the secondary dump here after this consolidation. Just a scalp. One of the biggest things on these small accounts, guys, is we have to add up those base hits, $80, $70, $40, $20, day by day. We have at least one day trade round trip a day, if not a couple more, if you're not utilizing that whole buying power to cash account, right? So stack up those day trades, those base hits with that one day trade or two, whatever you take, are very important at the early steps of growing small accounts. So this little scalp right here, the technical analysis was that pop to break down. 130s was the target. We got our 130 and a little bit more, but it did rebuttal. Then we called the 130 reversal back up here to about the 100. 100 showed weakness. That's a little wavy, but initially our first setup was the initial weakness here. So that was a nice little tag there. Let me open Tastyworks real quick. I don't have the platform open, but let me get this open real fast for you guys. We can see what we did on Tastyworks today. There we go. All right, on the small Tastyworks, gave some back today in Tesla. We're still green. Let me grab that over here. This is what the P&Ls look like today. Year to date for the last couple of days, we're up $246 from starting the challenge about 3 days ago. So averaging pretty decent. We did a $70 scalp on Shopify long, and a few trades on the old Tesla here. One of the calls I got scared out at 525 pretty much was a commission base, and the other one was a 450 put that had ate away some of the profits back and forth because we didn't get the breakdown. We'll go over that, and then Tesla shops long scalp. We'll go over that as well. So so far year to date 246. I did swap that other money into here and finally cleared today. We did utilize all the buying power today in the cash account, but I will be swapping some of the cash over to the margin, and we're going to start doing spreads and day trades in the margin and cash. You can swap back and forth. I did confirm with Tastyworks today. You can go back and forth and switch accounts. So if you jump onto your cash accounts with Tasty and you day trade away your $1,500 cash and you're done, you can hop over to your margin account, which you'll have 3-day trades with in that account, Monday through Friday, in and out. And you'll also be able to do spreads in that margin account. So that's what the basis is for that. So let's go look exactly what happened on Tesla. So Tesla was the other short bias for today, as long as it rejected here at the 249 level, and we'll show you where we got those. The 4-hour chart here shows us all these bottoms my control key here, from two trade day ago, yesterday's pre-market. So this candle, this candle, this candle, we had a really good stack up of support, which snapped. Then we were waiting for the retrace to short, right? Pretty simple basis per usual. And we had a 489 rejection point from those bottoms of the 4-hour rejection. And we see how that worked here on that orange line in pre-market. Had the gap up and push. And I said, well, if it doesn't hold the 486.50s, we're definitely going to go short. And I definitely took the short right away out of Tesla's break. Right away to open. Let's see what those fills were in the old activity feed, because Tesla was our first one here. That was our stop out. So we had a fill at 520 and then an out at $6. That was our first big one. It looks like 839 and then 854 fill on the put side, right? Yeah, 465. That was our first trade there. So we took a 465 put pretty early there and caught this first dump down. And of course, we waited for the big crack and then the pop, entered on all the way down. Target for this one was the 473.50s. Let me look at the 4-hour chart again real quick here. This baseline, of course, is yesterday's low pretty much, and the reason we had targeted the full day of extension down to that 473.25 about or so was because of that. We had a split and over under there, and then we definitely had a really big support there. So if there was a drainage, right, a big dump really early, a quick flash dip under that level, we would probably hit up just about here. As the split breakout from 2 days ago, is a big support from yesterday. So it's a good opportunity to hit close to that target, right, on a short. So we capitalized, as you've seen on the Tastyworks. We had a 520 in, 6 out. That was the 80. And then we had that little shakeout. There was a little $5 winner there. Where was that? Or $3 winner, I should say, right in here. And that was just a little bit of a shakeout of that long. I just marketed it out, took the commissions loss, pretty much a flat trade. And then when we did give $30 on is the put. So let's talk about the put. It was a 450 put, and it was in at 390, out at 360. So $30 plus a little commission loss there. We were up a little bit more today, about 125 on the day instead of just about 100 on Tasty. But let's talk about that. And that was the support zone here. So we took a put, and we'll talk a little bit about why we knew this was going to reverse on us ahead of time, essentially. And then, of course, got out at the top of the VWAP because I figured there was going to be a trail back. So in this area here is where I got short. I took that $3.90 put, 450 puts for $3.90, so $390 for that one contract. The bad thing about this one is we had a ton of support zone here, right? We had a huge reaction to this candle. We had a big buy-up candle that matched off with some of these splits and high-range 1-minuters and kind of closed above the 9 and ripped back up. So I was watching this range really close for reversal just in case our short did not work out. This is where it was going to pretty much climb back up after that 478, right? So as it comes back down here, I got a really good entry, decent entry, $3.90 on the 450 put up here, and it came down into that zone. Well, by the time it popped against us a little bit on the 50, which we're in here, and then cracked all the way down here, and it just kind of stumbled. Something to note was the prices for that 450 put that we had, the spread wasn't giving us any premium. It wasn't making us any money. That 390 had dumped all the way down here, and it was still sitting around 390 or 4 or red the whole way down. So what does that tell you? Well, the price action of the actual equity was coming down. And in Tastyworks, if I was looking at that spread again, and we just go back to Tesla real quick and the 17th, and I was looking at that 450 here, that 390, right now it's 365 by 380. Okay, and what I mean by that is this little guy right here was just swapping around like the 360 to 390 to $4 to 360, 345 was putting us in a bigger red. So the strike spread wasn't giving up any premium. The put wasn't getting worth more. We bought it at 390. We needed to go up $4, $4.20, $4.30, for that profit, and it wasn't doing that. So the price action, as we noticed, was coming down, 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 and we identified a big support zone, a big reversal zone, and something to note. We were just watching back and forth. That spread price on our strike 450, price action, spread price 450. Price action. And we noticed even as we were dumping, and here it wasn't giving up. If anything, it was going down. So that's a bad sign. Price action going down and a put is not worth more. What does that imply? Well, there's going to be a pop or a reversal. So we got out for a little bit of a loss on this pop, came back down, ended up reversing right in that zone we were talking about, right? And of course, just chopped the rest of the way. Well, no big deal. We had a good chunk there. It's still 25 bucks green on the day from the first initial put dump, but we didn't get the secondary run down to like a higher lower double bottom. It came to this supply zone where these large wicks and these large ranges were snapping back and forth, and we called that pretty much pretty well. But something to note in between there, sometimes when you buy a strike and you're over focusing and you're watching that price action come down, and that strike, that purchase put you bought, is not going up in value, that should tell you something. It has a potential to reverse. And I called a little bit of a lazy W here, and it did end up coming to a W and then just kind of chopping the rest of the day there. I told the crew to watch out for the W formed off here, and you could have took some longs into this area and then rode it back up to about 100 before I got off live today. So you would have had at least solid 2-3 points, about 3 points on that call to come back up later day there. But we did utilize all our day trades, so we did not get anything on there. So let's talk about our last trade on Tesla. We'll go over some of the daily notes as well. Our shop, I'm sorry, not Tesla. It was an 860 call. Or 860 was the spread. Sorry, my brain is still a little fried there. 860 fill, 930 out. Okay, so the Shopify win was $70 there, and we'll go over that January 17, 435 call, I think it was. Yeah, this one would have been worth a lot if I would have held on to it. But again, these small accounts, when you're first starting to trade them, getting used to these scalps and such, you do need to take those base hits to kind of get that nice pillow, that cushion up, and you don't want to hold these too long, especially on options. You just want to get your base hit, get out. If you can get 50, 60, 70, 80, $100 a day, well, at the end of a couple weeks here, we're going to be staring at a couple thousand in each account. Then we can start getting more aggressive. So let's talk a little bit about Shop. Shop was coming off of all-time highs. And right from the daily notes, it said, strong day 2 moves off the 100 EMA and Shop. Would have been killer yesterday to get in on the 100 EMA intraday. Watching for long above yesterday's close. So yesterday's close, let's look at the intraday here, was, should be up here. Pre-market, open. My yesterday's close must be, might be opening price as well. Let's take a quick peek. Yesterday's close was 430.20. So 430.20 must be a level here. Is it the open? No, 430.20. I don't know why that's not on the charts. Studies, edit studies. Prior day close. Maybe I just did it on this chart. Oh, there it is. Well, for 430.20. So apparently it's just not charted. My bad. Anyway, as long as we're over yesterday's close here, this was a long. So we're looking at it for long over yesterday's close. So we had the nice initial dump. We started recovering yesterday's close right away. Seeing the consolidation here. So I took it long. Right here after the recovery of yesterday's close, and it started mounting the 100 EMA. So I took the 435 call, and again, I showed you the entry prices there. That was Shop 435 call, 860. So $860 of the buying part gone there. The cash count 930 out. So that was that $70 winner there. So that was the whole trade plan pretty much, is long over yesterday's close. Now, we could have had a continuation for much higher regardless of what the market does. They usually magnet upward. Had a really good chance for a V reversal, kind of a very sharp cup and handle, not so much of a cup, but definitely a V reversal and continuation here. And if I would have held for a little bit longer, it would have been pretty much a big winner. But again, when I took that long here, this could have easily rejected yesterday's highs, wouldn't have done the squeeze out. So we were looking for a big continuation here. I didn't want to hold through that pullback and then another, big consolidation just in case next week's options did lose that decay. So I want to get that base hit out right away. So that was the other trade on the Tastyworks account here, and we're up 246 year to date, $96 on the day there on Tasty, and another 87 on the TOS. So doing okay back and forth there. So let's check out some of the other daily notes here. I do post these an hour before market open, so about 7:30 a.m. Central. But this stuff right here, we'll go over a few of these other plays that we didn't get a catch of, but most of them worked pretty well. So right from the daily notes, an hour before market open, Apple, crazy upside move, still riding the 100 EMA intraday, watching floater. We're watching the 311.50 for a long. So I can't really tell you exactly why I was watching this, but 311.50, because this has to do with an elite system. As long as we were above the opening price in 311.50 for a long, it was going to squeeze out. So we identified that pre-market. We came all the way up to there. Here was the 311.50 acted as resistance, dropped, came at big squeeze point. Well, that was a very good play here and a very good call. We had a really nice rip to the upside there, almost 2 points. Applicable there, and then we are having a little correction. It's going to go into chop mode, but that was the early outlook for that. Tesla was in there. Snap, I didn't look at Snap today, so let's go take a quick peek at Snap. Whoops, let's go back to the flex here. That was the wrong button. All right, the snap was so we got yesterday's close again. We're looking at snap 1740's big level for more upside direction, watching long to 1820 today or potentially next week. So we looked for 1740s was big upside potential support. So if you see down here, right here is 1740. We held yesterday's close. Here's the long from 1740s, had the big correct. And here's the notes I'm talking about that are posted. Here's Snapchat 1740s, big level for more upside direction, watching long to 1820 today, 1740. So on that big dump, you should have looked for reversals at yesterday's close, and then 1740s was this level right here. We had super good chop here, banging around at 1740s, lost it, recovered it, and right here we had a bunch of higher lows on the 1 minute stack up at yesterday's close. And then she snapped right to the upside. Didn't quite make the 1820s, but you definitely had that entry long, and you definitely could have capitalized on a very nice move if you were long this 40s, about 30 some cents, and on that price of a stock, you could really size up and do some damage there on Snap. So the next one, I'll go over a few of these other ones. TTD was another good ranger for options today. We like to trade this one. TTD failed all-time high breakout yesterday. That's today. The all-time high was 289.50s or so. And we're watching the 285 for an over-under level. So 285 was where I was watching. This bright blue line is right here. So as long as we're under 285, it was going to be a short, targeting the next daily, 279.77. So this was our target short. So if you would have took that call, again, right here at 285, here's 285, pre-market low, snapped. First view app, retrace and weakness, came all the way back down right to our level. So very early short there. TTD worked out really well. Again, posted an hour before open. NVIDIA, let's go see if that one holds up to the boot here. NVIDIA was on more of a chop day. It could. Yeah, big press. We're looking for 100 EMA longs today. It's a bright teal line here. So it looks like we higher load the 200 EMA, yesterday's highs. Watch for a sell to yesterday's high or 100 EMA for pattern for higher if market holds up. So that was the daily notes call. So if you see a long from yesterday's highs, which watch for a sell to yesterday's highs or 100 EMA. So here's yesterday's highs, the orange dotted line. So we got a sell to yesterday's highs. That was your buy point. Purchased in, recovered the 100 EMA was the teal, boom, and then had a nice push long. So if you would have took either one of those calls, either from yesterday's high area, even at the higher low, you're looking at a solid 0.80 and then probably about a point here. Yeah, 0.20 on the upside there. Still looking for consolidation and strength to occur here on NVIDIA. This is a consolidation day. I believe that NVIDIA has much more to go to the upside there. So we'll be watching that for next week as well. CMG was a big level. It was over under 860 is what we reiterated on pre-market. So 860 over under for CMG here. Yesterday's close 862. Here's that orange line right at about 860. That's that level we were watching. We're looking for over. So it dumped really early out of the gate to there. Then we had a perfect confirmation of weakness here. So it popped under 860, retraced right to 860 for weakness and came down. If that would have been support, it would have caught support here. Then we would look for potential upside. But 860 looking at support did not happen. So instantly that becomes resistance. So as it came back down, retraced to the 860 and continued lower. You had a couple different opportunities there. 50 EMA across the view app, 6-7 points of downside. That would have been a monster scalp as well. Lift potential cup and handle breakout. Watching for next week as well for the lift. I didn't put any levels on here, but we talked about it pre-market here a little bit. Yesterday's highs and then as low as 45.30s, but I was looking at yesterday's close first off for recovery, and that is 45.50s. Now the price target for today was 46.17. Now, this was that trend change here. We're looking for that break to the upside. This is why that target was 46.17 for the day. We had that really big split. We have a very large trend of resistance coming down for that. But again, with the daily notes, we were talking about the yesterday's close and then a big push into that. You would have had a very easy long there at lift at that 45 level. We have anything else on here? Facebook. I think we went over Amazon. Amazon was a little bit tougher for traders, pretty static, but I said on the break of this wedge, regardless of which way it goes after these two yellow lines of the wedge, that was probably going to be the play. Weakness under 1900. Did have that weakness. It did kind of folly down. Didn't quite get to target of 1889, but it did, retrace and just kind of go static and chop. And right from the daily notes, it says still static, but making higher lows. Needs news. Breakout to the upside yesterday. Could not hold 1910. So if it does looking for, still looking for an open above yesterday's close to ramp up. Well, yesterday's close is up here, right to pre-market low. We did not get that, so we did not get a open and ramp above yesterday's close. So of course, that becomes resistance. Big dump, came all the way back up and just looked really weak under that channel. So it wasn't quite a trade there. If you wanted to continue that short down, it would have been a nice follow, a little bit of a higher risk, but the idea was there. So that's what I got for you guys today. A little small account challenge. Everything's green in 2020 going forward. We're up a little over $100 a day on the first 3-day start here. So we'll hopefully start again next week, and we'll catch you on the next one, guys.